Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and this evening we're going to have a look at the latest on the big thunderstorms and torrential rain we could be seeing for many areas throughout Friday evening all the way through till Sunday. We'll also wrap up the last couple days of this heat wave. Western areas are going to still have another hot day tomorrow, and eastern areas are going to be a little bit cooler, but still reasonably quite hot. Now, do remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm now only 20 subscribers away from 1,000, so please, if you do enjoy my videos, make sure you do hit that subscribe button. It is free, and it really does help me out as I'm just trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. So if we do first have a look at Twitter once again, over the last sort of few days, we've been looking at the Met Office official Twitter page quite a lot, actually, because Northern Ireland have, for the third day now, broken their temperature record. They broke it last Saturday with 31.2 degrees, they broke it yesterday with 31.3, and now today has been eclipsed again with 31.4 degrees in our mark. Now, there's the potential it could eclipse that tomorrow. It really just does depend on if any cloud does build, and just see exactly how high those temperatures can soar. But definitely, again, some areas will see 30 degrees plus tomorrow, especially in Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, and western and southwestern areas. As I said earlier, in eastern areas, things are looking like they're going to be cooling down as we have more of an easterly breeze coming in. So if we first have a look at the GFS, I'm just going to briefly go through this before we look at thunderstorms. So I do just want to always keep tabs on what we're going to be seeing long term. So you can see at the moment we've got this big area of high pressure which has been giving us our heat wave. And you can see at the upper airs we do have very warm air, and that warm air is now concentrated further west, and that's why we're seeing the highest temperatures now in the west through tomorrow. You can see the high pressure is moving northwards, and it's as this low pressure system is moving in, and it's pulling in an easterly wind, and that's going to be affecting many eastern areas, cooling the temperature down a touch. Some areas will still get up to the mid to high 20s tomorrow, but it's considerably cooler than we've seen earlier this week, where we saw 32.4 degrees in Heathrow. It doesn't look like it's going to be getting that hot over the next day or so. Definitely, though, potential for 27, 28 degrees, similarly to the highs we saw today, but for many areas it may be a touch cooler. That low will run up through Friday night into Saturday, initially with an occluded front that is likely to bring some very heavy rain and the potential for a few embedded thunderstorms. But as that occluded front clears throughout Saturday morning, that's when we're going to see the big thunderstorm risk. There's a lot of Cape, there's convergence zones, and the signal is at the moment we could be seeing some quite significant thunderstorms in the south of the country, and we'll have a look at that later in the video. That low does eventually move through the English Channel and sit out in the North Sea, which could allow more thunderstorms for eastern areas and more areas of persistent heavy rain, and we do have a yellow warning in force, which we'll look at the end of the video. But beyond that, see, the low eventually clears, but we never sort of get out of the low pressure influence, and another low comes in off the Atlantic for the middle of next week. Will likely bring in some cooler air, some weather fronts in off the Atlantic. Now the air mass is coming in off the Atlantic, so it won't be particularly thundery, at least initially, and it will just be heavy rain and a lot of cloud. As we move through that week, more low pressure tumbles in, and we actually go into quite a cold pattern with northern blocking. We do have an area of high pressure ridging up towards Greenland and Svalbard, low pressure over Scandinavia, down through the UK, pulling in northerly winds, and we are pulling in pretty chilly air for this time of year, potentially getting down to only a couple of degrees above freezing at 850 HPA, and on the surface that will give temperatures in the mid to high teens for many areas, which is colder than average. And you can't rule out, if we do see clear skies, the potential for some areas, especially in Scotland and over the mountainous regions, to even get below freezing if we do see that 0 degree isotherm come through. And you do see it does flirt with the north coast. But you can see we are getting beyond day 10 now, so things are becoming a lot more uncertain. But as we head towards the end of the run, generally things are westerly with low pressure coming in, and it doesn't look like anything's going to be terribly dry beyond the next day or so. Things definitely do look downhill in terms of a lot of precipitation, and temperatures are starting to fall as well. So not too encouraging if you are if you're a hot weather lover. If you're more inclined to some cooler weather and some rain, then you'll enjoy the spell coming up. But I do suspect it may get a little bit miserable in some regions, as it doesn't look particularly encouraging on this latest GFS run. If we now do have a look at the thunderstorm risk, now we'll start on the WRF model and we'll look through the Cape charts. We'll have a look at convergence zones and then we'll just have a look at precipitation predictions. So if we do run through, there is a lot of Cape in the UK at the moment, especially in western and northern areas, and we have seen some isolated and quite significant thunderstorms break out in some regions. Now, they have been helped by forming over hills and mountains because at the moment, with this big block of high pressure, although there's a lot of energy in the air, there isn't any triggers. So what caused thunderstorms a couple of days ago in eastern areas, we had a convergence zone, and we had a little bit more instability in the air. Now, it's sort of air hitting a mountain or a hill, rising, just giving that little lift to these thunderstorms that break out. So we're seeing some in the Peak District and some in towards Scotland and Northern Ireland as well. Through tomorrow, there's quite significant Cape in Ireland as well, and western parts of Wales, northwestern parts of Wales, and western Scotland. So we'll just have to keep an eye on if anything does develop. Now, they are in the centre of the high, so I doubt there'll be anything too widespread at this stage. But you never know. We have to keep an eye. There is some precipitation showing up on the charts, so we just have to keep an eye on the convection and the radar tomorrow. But we're really watching this area of Cape coming up from the south through Friday evening. You see, it's not as significant in terms of Cape and energy as we saw, as we're seeing at the moment, really. But the difference is we've got a lot more triggers. We've got convergence zones, we've got low pressure, meaning this energy is going to be used in the form of heavy rain and thunderstorms. And you can see initially when the weather front does come through Friday night to Saturday, there isn't a lot of Cape inland. It's more over the channel, but as we head through the afternoon, that Cape comes inland, combined with the convergence zone. That's where we could see thunderstorms really popping off throughout Saturday afternoon. That Cape does eventually pull away overnight as the energy does decrease, but then it will pick up once again through Sunday afternoon. Unfortunately, on the WRF, we can't get out beyond 72 hours, but it does look like on Sunday afternoon it will pick up once again in the east and into the evening, and we could be seeing some more significant thunderstorms as that low eventually does clear. If we do have a look at winds, we'll briefly just go until have a look at towards Friday evening. You can see that low approaching towards the south. As it comes up, you can see that convergence zone coming onshore. Winds initially coming up from the south, meeting winds on the east, and where those winds meet, the only place for the humid air to go is up, and with a lot of Cape and a lot of energy, it will cause big thunderstorms and torrential downpours. So as that convergence zone shifts northwards, it eventually sort of fizzles out as the low moves away, but there is still that convergence zone across the south coast, and it's a scenario where we could see a stationary line of storms in central southern England. So we have to really keep an eye on that. And eventually it does clear before we could see some more convergence zones overnight Sunday, but there isn't as much energy at that point as the Cape does diminish as the sun goes down. So I do suspect that at that point there won't be too much shower activity. And then as we head through Sunday afternoon, you can see some convergence zones starting to form where it sort of funnels the winds, and that's where we could see more enhanced shower risk. And you see where the centre of the low is. So we'll just have to keep an eye on those convergence zones. They will shift model run by with each model run, so we'll just really have to keep an eye on that nearer the time, and we'll update this again tomorrow. If we do finally with the WRF, just look at the raw precipitation. You can see there are a few showers around today. And then through tomorrow afternoon, we do have some more showers forming in northern Wales, and then we have a few showers in the Republic of Ireland and a few in Scotland. Again, it really does depend on how much sort of trigger we do get to see if we do get this sort of numerous amount of showers. We'll just really have to see. And then the first heavy rain starts arriving in the southwest early Saturday morning, spreading northwards. Does look like the WRF is definitely sort of underplaying the widespread nature of the rain. It's really just showing the heavy stuff. And then you can see eventually that weather front, the occluded front, will fizzle out as it heads northwards, and then it gets real energy through Saturday afternoon as those thunderstorms take off in the south coast, providing significant conditions, which could give some flooding through Saturday afternoon before eventually the rain does slowly clear before more showers and thunderstorms do pep up through Sunday. So we'll really have to keep an eye on that once again. If we do now have a look at the ARPEGE run, we'll run through the Cape briefly. Again, a bit of Cape is through tomorrow, especially in Republic of Ireland. And then we see that significant Cape initially through Saturday afternoon really pick up before diminishing through Saturday evening. And then more Cape comes in through Sunday afternoon, potentially providing some big thunderstorms there, before it does look like Cape will eventually slowly diminish away. If we do have a look at the wind, just looking at convergence zones, if we do run through Friday afternoon, you can see that low approaching from the south. You can already see through Saturday afternoon those convergence zones setting up along the south coast. In here, potentially one coming into just north of London, one's along the south coast, where that wind suddenly changes direction. So could be seeing some significant development along those convergence zones, and again another convergence zone overnight spreading from northeastern areas down to southwestern areas. So you can see, depending on the model, they are in slightly different directions and different orientations, so it really is going to be difficult to forecast exactly where these thunderstorms pop up, but it does just show you the potential we do have there. Through Sunday, it does look like activity will diminish. Then Sunday afternoon, we'll have more sort of convergence zones setting up. You can see convergence zones potentially in the northwest, through central southern areas, and through the London area potentially as well, setting up, potentially bringing some more thundery showers before eventually things do slowly clear away in terms of thundery activity for early next week. If we do have a look at the raw precipitation charts, you can see few showers around tomorrow evening and afternoon, potentially in Republic of Ireland. We'll just have to keep an eye on that. And then more widespread heavy rain comes in across that occluded front, initially through Saturday morning, before it turns a little bit drier, potentially for a few areas, before, as we head into Saturday afternoon, big thunderstorms start pepping up. And you can see it very showery in terms of the activity. You can see a lot of these small specks of quite heavy rain, symbolising the showery nature of the thunderstorms. Things do slowly ramp down overnight before ramping back up through Sunday afternoon with more heavy showers and thunderstorms throughout Sunday afternoon, before things look a little bit drier, before we have more westerly winds coming in for early next week. Now, if we do have a look at the icon run, just at the precipitation type, if we do run through tomorrow afternoon, a few showers in Republic of Ireland, then we see the heavy rain spread up, occluded front does fizzle out slowly before more showers and thunderstorms develop behind it initially through Saturday afternoon. Now, we can only go in 3-hour increments on the icon, so you can see there at 6 o'clock where that heavy rain and thunderstorm activity is across South Coast, maybe into Bristol area, across to London, and then again another area in East Anglia. After that, we could see a brief period of drier weather through early Sunday morning before more heavy showers and thunderstorms move in through Sunday evening, and then Monday does look like that shower and thunderstorm risk shifts a bit further northwards, but it does look a lot of activity is staying offshore, so just to keep an eye on that. If we do have a look at precipitation accumulations, you can see again, we looked at this yesterday, in many areas we're seeing 1 inch to 2 inches of rain, and that's similar on this icon run. Many areas seeing around 25 millimeters in the most prone areas, maybe a little bit more. And then again, in eastern areas, as that heavy rain moves up, we could see another inch or two of rain. And we just really have to keep an eye, as it does really depend on the convection sort of nature of these storms, where some areas, as I said yesterday, 10 miles apart could reach drastically different rainfall totals, even within a few hours. So it's going to be very difficult to forecast exact rainfall totals, but it does look like some areas could have some quite significant disruption. If we finally have a look at the UK Met Office run, if we do have a look at the precipitation first, you see through Friday afternoon, we do have a few thunderstorms and showers breaking out in Ireland and Northern Ireland, maybe a bit in Wales as well. We just really have to keep an eye on how many of those do take off. And then as we head through Friday morning into Saturday, you see that band of heavy rain and thunderstorms start moving up from the south. Quite thin there, the heavy rain, but there'll be more lighter rain around it through Saturday morning, and that slowly fizzles out on the occluded front for Saturday afternoon, or late morning, temporarily goes dry in some areas for Saturday afternoon. We see those thunderstorms take off around the south, coast along that M4 corridor, and we could see some significant thunderstorms before another shipment of rain potentially through Sunday morning, and then more thunderstorms in the east on Sunday afternoon, and then more showers and thunderstorms generally in eastern areas throughout Monday afternoon as well. So we really have to keep an eye on how this does develop, and then you can see by Tuesday next week we're into sunshine and showers with that westerly wind. So we really have to keep an eye. As you can see with all these models, they are showing slightly different outcomes where those thunderstorms and torrential rain is going to take off. And we're really just going to have to keep an eye on the radar and have a look at the models once again tomorrow. But it definitely does look. M4 corridor southwards could be probably the ideal positions for those thunderstorms to develop. Further northwards, it's a bit more uncertain, depending on how much cape there is and where that convergence zone does set up. If we do have a look at the temperatures briefly for the next day or so, as temperatures will still be high in many western areas tomorrow. As we head through Friday afternoon, you can see peak temperatures around 3 or 4 p.m. Again, 30 degrees could be reached in Northern Ireland, maybe 28, 29 or 30 degrees in western and southwestern areas, potentially northwestern areas as well. Further east, generally areas around low 20s, maybe still 25, 26 in a few odd places. And then as we look through Northern Ireland, you can see again the potential for 30 degrees, and Republic of Ireland potential for mid to high 20s as well. But we'll, if we do see those thunderstorms develop, it will prohibit those temperatures a little bit as well. If we finally have a look at the weather warnings, now we do have the extreme heat warnings in force. This one in the southwest expires today, as you saw by those temperature charts. It does look like temperatures could still get high tomorrow, but not as dangerously high as they've been over the last few days. But still high temperatures in Northern Ireland, we could still see 30 degrees once again tomorrow. And then we have the yellow warning for rain. Now, it's a very widespread yellow warning for rain. Not all areas here are going to see disruption. Probably only a sort of small area within this is going to see significant disruption. But most areas within this is going to see some heavy rain at points, and some areas are going to see some heavy thunderstorms as well. And it's just too hard really to say exactly where, and that's why we've got this big blanket warning. I suspect tomorrow, if models converge on some areas which could have an enhanced risk, we could see that yellow warning shrunk, or potentially, if the impacts increase significantly overnight to tomorrow or into Saturday, and we do see things developing a lot higher than initially thought when this warning was put out, we could see an amber warning in force. But I wouldn't really say that's going to definitely happen at this stage. It's just a hunch that this could be an amber warning if we do see those significant thunderstorms take off through Saturday afternoon. So we'll just have to really keep an eye on it. It's through Sunday as well, and it's basically warning the potential for around 100 millimetres of rain in a few locations, but heavy thundery showers quite widespread. Again, not all areas are going to see the heavy rain. Not all areas are going to see thunderstorms. So sometimes I do get comments with people saying, "Oh, I didn't see a thunderstorm, your forecast was wrong." Whenever you're looking at thunderstorms, it's so difficult to forecast exactly where they're going to take off. Because as I said, you could be 10 miles apart, one area gets a massive thunderstorm, the other area just sees some light rain or sunshine. So it's so difficult to forecast what's going to happen with this. So just really keep your eyes on the radar. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you do stay safe this weekend if you are out in the thunderstorms and the rain. But I'll see you again for another video soon.